Good afternoon. Well, yeah, almost. Just before 12, we're here on a Wednesday morning after a bit of a horror show last night at St Andrews. Just give me one moment. I'm just getting my stuff together. We'll wait up for some people to come on. Just give me a few seconds and we will go ahead. Um, Sorry, I did come on actually just a few seconds early to make sure I got on all right because I know what it's like sometimes. And I just changed my mic and I've had to change it back because um, it wasn't recognised, unfortunately, by Facebook. It should be recognised by the computer, but it wasn't. But there you go. So let me just go back to where I was. Sorry. And if anyone's there now, just come say hello to me. Let's have a quick look, see if we've got anyone on at the moment. Yeah, we have. We got Lee Stanley, good morning, mate. Scott Harrison, hi, Steve. Awful performance last night. And Angus saying good morning. I hope your holiday's going all right, Angus. I hope you didn't watch last night. Would have put you right off, mate. Yeah, it was. What can you say? I mean, you know, obviously the whole of social media went into meltdown. We don't usually go into meltdown as much as anyone else, but we did have a little meltdown. Not too bad. I thought the performance was just not really acceptable, was it? It was absolutely awful. We just looked totally lost. Having said that, and I know it wasn't the same team that played Spurs on Saturday, but I think, Saturday, but I think that team would hold its own in the Premier League. I mean, they beat Spurs at the Tottenham Stadium by 4-0. This is a good team, but I'm not making excuses. We looked awful. I think some of the, I don't know, like looking at the players, I think the back four looked a bit shell-shocked. Obviously, they got two new people playing in the back four for the first time. Although Asai Samuel didn't cover himself in glory, I thought he had a really bad night. Going across the back four, Fry, I think it was Collins when he beat him for the third goal in the air. Fry never left the ground. It was awful, and we all know what a good player Darryl Fry is. Clara just was a little bit lost as well, and then Lund. He probably wasn't the worst in the back four, to be honest, but at times his positioning was poor. He looked completely lost a couple of times. I can remember, I think one time when he cleared the ball up into the air and he bounced. It was almost vertically cleared up. It bounced, and then like Lund just sort of was looking around for the ball. You know, like where's the ball? It was just absolutely awful. I'm just going to carry on. I was going to say hello to a few other people. William Atkins, hi, you Steve. Keep right on, mate. Angus, he watched last night and he said it was painful, but carry on. Billy, no, mate, they're a good team, yes, but we have beaten Press before. I don't know what you're talking about there, mate. But yeah, we have beaten Press before. We haven't played with that team before, have we? So obviously not that team hasn't. There's a lot of things I think contributed to it. They didn't look organised. They really didn't. I think when you take Stansfield out of the team, we lose momentum. I think Fujimoto, he has to move on. He's not the number 10 that we're looking for. So you know, that's just it's how it is. You know, and people say, "No, give him." You don't want to give anyone a chance. Right, what we want to do is get a proper number 10, not fannying around anymore. They've got like 4 or 5 days to get 2 players in. They need to get their ass in gear. Vicente, you know, we know Vicente's a quality player. Paykachi had quite a good game. I thought Gray was probably our man of the match. Solis did all right, you know, put his foot in, didn't look his usual self, gave the ball away quite a few times, but you know, so it is. Brentford looked really, really good. They did look a good team. Alsop was awful. I think, you know, him and Fry, probably the two. I mean, in the middle of the goal, he looked absolutely, didn't know where he was again. But it's just a really poor performance. And I don't know what's going to happen. There's people saying, you know, like if we, you know, if we lose on Wrexham, he's gone. I mean, all that is just purely made up by people. We said it last time, didn't we, with the commentary games? Remember that one? His desk's been cleared. He's leaving on Monday morning, absolutely guaranteed. Don't worry, he's definitely gone. Of course, Monday morning he's still there because it's just completely made up bullshit. So I don't believe any crap you hear. Now, I don't know how the club feel, or I don't know who is in the position at the moment. There's no DOF. And, you know, Tom Wagner's absence is... I'm not really sure now if... is the CEO going to... You know, is this down to... the CEO? Is it down to... I've no idea, you know. Tom Brady is there, not Tom Brady. Tom Hardy is there. Tom could make a decision. Of course, we have Jeremy Dale, who's in a position to make a decision, but I don't know what the situation is, and I think everyone guessing doesn't help. I mean, we all get frustrated, and my God, it was awful. You know, the feeling last night was a bit like after the defeat when Lee Clark was here, when we lost at home to Bournemouth, wasn't it? It was like, it was one of them. It really was bad. It always seems worse directly afterwards, and then it isn't quite so bad the next day, but it is bad. And I think the other thing is, of course, I mean, with them lot over the road, it's really embarrassing, and I was getting some messages last night from Villa fans. You know, not a nice place to be in, is it, at the moment? But I don't know. I mean, I think the other situation we have to look at in terms of what's going to happen is we are right at the end of the transfer window. So even if Chris Davis were to go, or if he were to resign, or if he was, I have no idea what's going to happen to him. So I'm not going to make anything up like we know some people do. You know, there's two things in question then, isn't there? We're going to get, obviously there's going to be a new manager, but then there's going to be someone coming in, you know, who hasn't picked those players, who hasn't chosen them. I mean, when you look at the new signings that played last night, I actually thought Vasquez. I've seen someone say Vasquez is shit. He's a, you know, blah, usual crap. They don't know what they're watching. But Vasquez, actually, you can see there's a footballer in there. He did a few lovely little flicks and that, but he had no one behind him. You know, for Vasquez to play well, he has to have a number 10, or you know, someone. He was challenged for every ball. As soon as he come on, he'd run a free kick. I thought when we equalised, you know, it could easily have gone either way then, but we just lost our way, and it was just awful. I'm going to just say something as well while we're talking about all this with the group. You know, our project group, BCFC the project. You have to remember that we are a CIC. We're not like to talk the Lions or something or whatever. We can go on and say whatever you want. You know. I mean, we wouldn't allow that anyway, but I'm just saying that we are a CIC, so we have responsibility. We have to safeguard people. And on Facebook, in our group, and in Facebook in general, there's a 13-year age year. There's a 13-year-old age limit on Facebook, so that means 13-year-olds can be in a group. You know, simple as that. They can come in, they can look at the group, and we have a safeguarding job there. We also have the backing of the National Lottery, the National Lottery Fund, a lot of the stuff we do. So we have responsibility to them, and we have responsibility to ourselves and to the kids who run the group and to the supporters. So if you put a post on there that is either full of crap, not crap, I mean, you can give your opinion, but when you start swearing, you start abusing people, then your post's gone, and you probably are as well, you know. So I'm just warning you, okay? and now you know it's how it is. And so Billy No Mates is saying, remember when we beat Arsenal in the cup, took on Liverpool. Yeah, I remember those, mate. It's like years and years ago. It's like, you know, it has no relationship to today at all. You know, I mean, beating Arsenal in the cup was one thing in 150 years. We won a cup at Wembley. So, you know, of course I remember those games. I don't know what relationship that has to last night. Doesn't have any at all. I can also remember thousands of games when we were absolutely shit. So, you know, it doesn't mean any difference, make any difference. Sean Baldock is saying hello. How you doing, Sean? Regarding a few little rumours as well, we heard one about, well, I heard a rumour about, in fact I don't think I heard it, I think someone told me it was on another group, about Ducks leaving, he was leaving, but I can tell you now, right, what's happened with Ducks is, he's been told he can go, he's been told he can arrange his own transfer with a German team. It seems he wants to go to Germany, and Blues are going to let him go for $500,000. So that means Duck could make a fair bit of money on it himself, you know, and he'll have some contract left, hasn't he? So, you know, I think Marvin Ducks, we don't need him anymore. He's not the quality that we want. If we go through that team last night, Allsop, you know, he's all right for the bench, isn't he? Sai Samuel has played some good games, but the problem with the Sai Samuel is he's a little bit hit and miss at times. He was out of his depth last night. We've got Ethan Laird at right back as well, so you know we know Ethan Laird's a good player. Depends who we play against. For instance, against Wrexham next week, who on Friday, sorry, who play with a boring low block back five, you know, then we can get at them. We need to play wingers. That's evident. Fry, there's a good player in Fry. Clara, of course, we know. I don't know about Lund, Hansen. I mean, he to me, he did look out of his depth a bit last night, but the kid's only just joined. It's his first game, and we've got to wait and see. Solis, we know his quality. Pave, you know. Vicente, yes. I'm sorry, Fujimoto. He's been with us now for 2 seasons, season and a half. He has to go. Something has to happen with Fujimoto. It's not like Chris Davis didn't play him for a year, and then suddenly now, you know, he's finding the number 10 spot. I mean, and I know last night was just a filling game. It was. We made 6 changes, but Fujimoto shouldn't be near that team. And don't get me wrong, you know, when he gets on the ball, he looks all right, but he's not strong enough for the Championship. He's not physical at all. We just didn't see him last night. He couldn't, you know, he's putting his foot in, but he can't put his foot on the ball. He just can't. And then Vasquez up front, I think he's all right. I still think we have the basis of a team that can quite happily make the playoffs. Now, as like our group in general, you know, as a group, I mean, groups will always take a stand, and we'll always, you know, like make a point of how they feel. Now, we always support the club. We always support the people that work for the club. Of course, we do. And you see Chris Baker there. The best we can hope for on Friday night is a point. Why? Wrexham are shit. They really are. If you're looking at a game against a Premier League team in the League Cup, where we made 6 changes, and you think that means that our normal selection of team is going to get beaten by Wrexham, you know, we don't hope for a point, we hope for 3 points. Wrexham are crap. They haven't beaten us in 4 games in the league, you know, and they haven't beaten us at the race course, or whatever they call it in Welsh. So of course not. You know, I go there expecting us to win, and if those players don't come out on Friday and show us what they're made of, then, you know, then you can point the finger and say, you know what, but just uncomfortable with last night. It just didn't look right. I'm not making excuses for Chris Davis or anyone. I'm really not. You know, the time for that has gone. I think now we have to look at what happens going forward. And, you know, we'll always support the club, we support the manager as long as he's in place, but I think we have to start thinking a little bit now, Chris Davis, about making this team play, because we need to get into playoffs this season at the very least. So now's the time. And if the players can't step up, ship them out. Or if they can't step up, drop them. We don't need to have makeshift number 10s. People are saying, you know, Roberts can play the number 10. No, he can't. He's a right winger. You know, can you? You know, no, he's not good enough. What we need is what we've been told we're going to get, an absolute definite number 10. Now, I've been told 2 or 3 different people are coming and they haven't come. So either our negotiating isn't going on well. I honestly think that the recruitment, I'm not happy with the recruitment so far. We have got 5 days left. But, you know, I mean, we got Beagle in, and, you know, I like Vasquez. Lund, I have no idea about him. Fry's a good signing, but these are like players that are going to be in the squad. We need to look at ourselves now and make decisions in the next 5 days, because someone at St Andrews needs to take charge. And it just seems to me like we're a little bit rudderless at the moment. And it's easy to just, and I'm not making, like I've said already, I'm not making excuses for manager. I'm honestly not. But we need to look past Chris Davies, because, you know, everyone's so unhappy about Chris Davies. Then, and if you all know that you're absolutely right, well then why isn't he being replaced? And why don't you ask that question? Why don't you ask the club who's making the decision? Because it's easy to pretend you know what's happening when you don't, you know. I mean, we have some really good sources, you know, that you know, have contact at Blues. We know nothing about what happens with management selection. There's no DOF. There's no head of United there at the moment. I'm assuming that Tom Healy is there. So he, like, you know, he's one of the big United boys. We know, of course we know that Jeremy Dale's there. So someone needs to take this. You know, we need to, I'm frustrated, as you can see. Someone needs to take control of this situation now. We don't need to be told what's happening. You know, someone needs to tell us what's happening. We know what happened. We lost at home to Brentford 6-1. We know what happened. No one needs to tell us that. We've seen it. What we need to know now is for the club to come out and say, Chris Davies is our full backing, because look what's going on in social media. Look what's going on with the supporters. The booing last night at the end. Obviously, a lot of fans aren't happy. So the club needs to tell us, are they supporting the manager going into the season? Just shut all this shit up, or is he going? And if he's going, let's get rid and let's get a new manager. You know, one or the other. We're just sitting here on the fence as usual in the dark, and it's about time the club made some sort of move regarding this. Let us know what's happening, because no one wants infighting amongst supporters. No one wants, you know, the social media meltdowns that happen. We've never been bedwetters, but we are now for the first time that I can remember. You know, and it just isn't Blues. This isn't us. You know, we've been in much worse positions than this. Take it from me, we really have. But you know, really, we've just had our best 3 seasons for a long, long time. We need this season to get promoted. We need to stick together. We need to find out the direction the club's going in. We need some signings before Monday. And if it doesn't happen, then what you need to do, you know, as supporters, if you want answers, go to the club, ask the club, because there's no one on social media that's going to tell you. Because I can tell you that now, no one knows. No one knows. I've heard all sorts of stuff over the last few weeks. You know, I mean, I've already told you what I heard about Mike Rigg. Nothing else has come out about that. The club are dead silent on it. We don't know what's happening with Mike Rigg. You know, I thought at one point he was going to be the DOF. Then I'm told he's leaving. The players' family, the young players' families aren't happy with the way the club are handling the academies, and I know that for a fact because I've spoken to them. And when you say someone, I think put something on this morning saying, you know, or one of the players told us that he's a good tactician, but he doesn't know how to handle players. So if you want to make that comment, tell us who the player is. If you don't, you've just made it up, or someone has. So let's just hear who that person is. You know, people are full of this. But what, and I'm not having a go at you for wanting Chris Davies to be gone. That's fine. You know, that's fine. There's ways of doing it, and there's ways of saying it. Don't make stuff up. Don't say he's got till Friday. Don't say he's got till after the Coventry game, because it's all made up bullshit, right? If you know, come on and tell us who told you, and then people believe you. If you don't know, then just wait, or go to the club and ask them to tell you. If enough of you write in, phone in, flood the club with phone calls, ask them what's going on, you'll get a response, is my guess. But let's wait and see. I don't know. And like I said, I'm not being an excuse for Chris Davies. I'm honestly not. If Chris Davies goes tomorrow, then he goes tomorrow. We get a new manager. If he doesn't, then, you know, then we need the club to tell us that they support him, because you cannot go on like this, where every game, you know, well, to be fair, like, it doesn't matter what we do, he gets absolutely slated anyway, you know, by a certain, you know, portion of the support. I'm not saying last night that they deserved everything they got last night. Not everything, because I've seen some stuff on social media last night that's absolutely unacceptable, absolutely out of order. I'm surprised at the bedwetting our supporters are doing. I really am. You can make a point without crying, you know. So let's wait and see. Remember, obviously with us, you know, we have to be dead careful what we put out there. But the thing we do is we support, you know, we support Blues. We all support Blues. You know, me and Pete did the Sunday show, and you know, we've supported Blues for like 100 years between us, more than that. It's fucking scary, isn't it? So, you know, no, you can't tell us that as if it's something that's new. This isn't new. We're Blues. We don't win things. We've won 2 major trophies in 150 years. So we don't, this is a, you know, it's like this is something new, unless it's a load of new supporters that have come since the Americans have been here. They don't know what it is to be a Blues fan, because if you do, you know exactly what it is. And you know, losing games, getting relegated, you know, Blues go down together, come back up, win the cup, kick fuck out the Villa. That's like that's what we do. We go down, we come up, we don't win the cup very often, you know, but everything else we do, of course. But you know, don't wet yourselves. The only people that can give us answers are the club, no one else. So if you're making shit up, go and put it somewhere else. Don't put it with us. If you honestly know something, you can put it in if you want, or if you want to speak to me about it, I'm more than happy to speak to people. You can, you know, you can direct message me yourselves if you want to talk to me. A lot of people will tell you that I will answer DMs, provided they're respectful and they're all right. You know, of course I will. And I think on when we look at the Wrexham game on Friday, I honestly think we're going to win. But you know what? That's what I think for every game in the last 60 years that I've been watching the Blues. We're going to win. That's my mindset and my attitude. Not, oh, you know, we're playing Wrexham. I know there's a lot of you that kiss the arse of Wrexham and think they're fucking great, you know. But listen, I'm going to tell you right, Wrexham ain't going nowhere. They play 5 at the back as long as they have that manager in charge. That's how they'll play. He plays non-league or third or second or first division football. That's what Parkinson plays. If that's how you want to watch the Blues, fine. Defence, low block, 5 at the back. People go, oh, you know what, 3 at the back, playing with wing backs. What it means is 5 at the back out of possession. You just defend a low block. You see it all the time. You know, we've seen it millions of times with the low block. That's how Wrexham play. They played against us at home against us. They played like that. you know, I mean, listen, I'm passionate about it. I love blues as much as any of you do. Absolutely, I do. I'm not going to put stuff on YouTube, oh, Davey Sound, absolute shit, all that crap. We'll talk to you about it. I'm not going to put all that shite on there because no one knows what's happening. It's all made up. So you click. That's what it's about. Let's have a look at Dennis Dunleavy. Hi Steve, some of the abusive language and vitriol aimed at players and manager and club on other sides was Dennis, I absolutely I absolutely agree with you, mate. It's absolutely awful. I'm going to go through a few posts here now. Fujimoto is the new Yokoyama. Why sign this? Well, he's not the new Yokoyama, is he? Because he's still playing for us. Yokoyama went. He wasn't good enough. So are you telling me, Chris Baker, that you think Fujimoto is good enough? And why sign him? Do you think every player you sign, does every player, every club sign become a first team absolute success? Of course they don't. Of course they don't. We pay nothing for these players. Paul James, throw the towel in before kick off? No, never. You're right there, mate. Samuel Cook. Sam, how you doing, Sam? I like your true blue opinion, Steve, but cracks appearing going to be a long winter. It may well be, Sam. I'm not, I don't argue that. It's been a long 150 years, mate. People like you and me, Sam, are used to it, mate. We're Blues fans. You live up the road from where you used to. We're Blues fans. We go back a long way, mate. And Chris Baker, what are you talking about? Don't think we'll have a go Friday. What I don't exactly know what that means. Do you think the players are going to go out and just, what do you think? Explain what you mean. You're not making much sense with some of the stuff you're saying there. I mean, Fujimoto's the new Yokoyama. Doesn't play like him, doesn't play the same position. Yokoyama doesn't play for us anymore. He scored a couple of goals in the League Cup. He looked, what are you talking about? Paz Parish, hi mate, hope you well. Think he'll be sacked next week. Well, that's all right. Think he'll be sacked next week. Okay, shit on the Villa. Oh, you do, Paz? You all right, son? Park the bus and try to get a point. Well, that's how Wrexham play. And if we park the bus, then we are having a go, aren't we? Well, I don't understand what you mean. Billy, no, mate, the teams will have a point to prove now. So, I listen, all of us when we were kids want to play for Blues. If I was playing for them, I'd bust my bollocks for them. But, footballers today, they're not like footballers of yesteryear. And parking the bus and trying to get a point is actually a tactic. It's called 5 at the back. The way Parkinson plays, that's Parkinson the bus. That's exactly what they do. And everyone's loving the way Wrexham play. I just do not get it. Chris Baker's someone who's wrong inside the club at the moment. Chris, you may well be right. I said it, I think, on Sunday, in our show on Sunday. I think things behind the scenes aren't right at St Andrews, but I'm guessing, right? I have heard a few little rumours, but I wouldn't say I know that because I honestly don't. If I knew it, I would tell you, and I'm not in a position to say it. Keep right on. Every game we look like a squad that's just met the park. We did last night. Absolutely, we did. We lack cohesion this season. It's really like, I don't know. We looked absolutely devoid of ideas last night at times. Fujimoto in the tennis, and there was nothing coming from him. I'm not blaming the kid. He's just not good enough. In the first two, the game at Swansea, the game at Sheffield United, playing without wingers. Without a left winger. To me, it's too defensive. You're playing 3 in front of the back 4 because Pate drops back in possession. It's too defensive, but we're away from home. Then we played Bristol City, and we still play without a wide player on the left. So that for me was a mistake. That's me. That is me. I think it was a mistake. I don't pick the team. You fall on your sword, or you get the sack if you mess up, and we don't know what's going to happen to it. Chris Baker, everything has fallen flat since Wagner has got unwell. I honestly don't. I honestly don't know, and I know what you mean when you say it feels rudderless. I do know what you mean, Chris. I do. I don't think it's fallen flat since Wagner has gotten well, but I don't really want to talk about Tom Wagner and his illness, but I sort of get your point. You know, it doesn't, like I said earlier, we need direction. We haven't got direction from anyone. Someone at the club needs to speak to the fans. We don't have this silence. Listen, we don't want all the shit that Richardson and Lopez gave. We don't want that crap where they're, you know, signing players and then half an hour later Thomas Asante signing for us. Half an hour later he's signing for the Albion. You know, we don't want all that shit. But I think you got a point there. Keep Brentord saying, did United take over to build a great football team or build a... Well, that's obvious. They took over to build a 62,000 seater stadium and to build a sports complex and the sports quarter. That's why they took over. Do you think they got up one morning and thought, oh, you know what, let's go and make an absolutely world-class football team? Who will we pick? How about Birmingham City? No, they look at the area, they see what's available. Could we do something there? Yeah. Look at all that ground we can buy around it. And if we go up with them on their coattails, fucking brilliant. And they didn't do that for Blues. Is that what you really think? They did it because they love us? Of course they don't. They're in it to make money. It's simple as that. Let's have a look at Sean. I've seen Sean there. Sean Bulldog, the witch hunt against CD has been going on a long time. It has, I agree with that. Angus Gafford, we will play a lot better on Friday night with our first choice. I hope so, Angus. If we don't, we'll have a bit of egg on our face, son. Kevin Bruff, how you doing, Bruffy? You alright, son? Toxicity is returning to the stands, similar to the Rooney scenario. You start losing the fans, then it's a slippery slope. Let's pray whatever it is gets resolved quickly. That is exactly my point. What you're saying there, Kev, is right. Billy, let's look forward to Friday. Will be a different animal. I think we will have a better... Well, listen, if we can't motivate them for Friday, then there's something wrong, because that team should have a point to prove. We're always busy, aren't we? Stuart Bryan, every game's important. Play your strongest squad. Look at the game we give Newcastle. Yeah, I would have loved us to have played the proper team last night. I think we would have done a lot better, but they decided not to. But then you see the fans then go, well, you know, look, you had an opportunity to play the others. The manager can't really win, but he shouldn't be influenced by supporters anyway. So Ray Hobro is saying Brentford moved that ball around. They did, mate. I'll tell you what, I loved watching Brentford. What a great team now. And when you think not that long ago, we beat them in the semi-final of the Leyland Daft Cup at St Andrews in the first leg. Do you remember that? Oh, Jesus. Lee Harvey, Steve. Hi, Steve. Gutted roll on Friday. All right, Lee, definitely, mate. At least they can't blame Beadle. Well, actually, they can't. I've got to say, I do think last night that Allsop had a bit of a nightmare. But I ain't going to be picking on him. He's a good lad, Rocky. Bill Tucker, get behind Blues on Friday, we can win it. Steve Hickman saying, that was Bill Tucker. How you doing, Bill? Love to Sherry, mate. Steve Hickman, hello, Steve. How you doing, Steve? Sam Cobley, the frustration with Davis is he can't see the Stansfield as a striker. I think he can. I think... And I don't think his confidence has gone. I think what's happening, he's not playing the position he wants to play. But what's he going to do? We haven't got a number 10. Stansfield is a key part of that team, and if we're playing Priska, Stansfield has to play behind him. You see what happens when you know Fujimoto plays in that position. If he plays Priska, but what, like on Saturday, I would love him to have started Stansfield in the 9, dropped Priska, and then played. I was hoping perhaps even Bird in the 10, but of course our new signing is injured. You know, we haven't had the best of luck. Harry Parker, think back to the top 6 last season, started the season, 2 league games. Well, I mean, look at Villa last season, to be fair, but you just never know, dear. We'll play a lot better on Friday night with our first. Hope you had a good holiday, keep right on. I think that's to Angus, isn't it? And William Atkins, as we say, we will be alright as ever. Of course we will. Listen, I'm still going to be supporting the Blues at the end of the season, the end of next season, until the day I die, so it doesn't make any difference. I'm not bothered about getting the Premier League anyway, it's shit. I mean, who wants to be up there? you know, you go up, you know you're going to be fighting the relegation battle. You see how long it takes for a team like Brentford to establish themselves, and Brighton, so 10, 15 years, and they're still nowhere near the top end of it because it's all about money. So I'm not that bothered anyway. And the ladies kick off, I think, next weekend. Can't wait for that. So, you know, let's go and watch the ladies, eh? Well, it's been an interesting 35 minutes or so. And I hope you just be able to get a bit of frustration out. I have. It's helped me, to be honest, because at least I can say what I want to say. And Bill Tucker saying Cherie sends her love. Thanks, Bill. Nice one, mate. Steve Hickman, we won't be playing two up front. But 4-4-2, mate, is almost as bad as what Parkinson plays with the 5. 4-2-3-1 is a nice formation. You know, you could easily. I've said it before, like play the Christmas tree. You know, like 4-3-2-1. You know, you can do it. Away from home, especially with the 3 at the back. Pate's been playing that position more or less anyway, the 3rd defensive mid. And of course, Solis looks great, but we desperately need a number 10. That's what we need. And of course, when I say that, of course, we're not going to play with 2 up front. That's me. I'm saying that, not Chris Davis. Bill Tucker, Cherie sends her love. Guys, listen. Thanks so much. We'll try and get on before Friday's game, but if not, I'll probably be on Saturday. And don't forget, we've got the show on Sunday, which really, really, really is busy. And everyone, yeah, we get a lot of numbers for that. Well, I feel like I need a bit of a lie down now in a dark room, you know. But listen, I love all of you. You know, we're all Blues fans together. We shouldn't be falling out, and we've all got our opinions, and we're all entitled to our opinions. Just have a little bit of respect for each other and for the people. And listen, guys, absolutely fabulous. Thank you for listening to my ranting for the last 35 minutes. And thank you so much. Listen, I love you all. Keep it on up the Blues. Listen, we're always Blues. We're Blues, right? Could be a lot worse. You could be Villa fans, can you? Come on, you Blue boys.